Okay, guys, welcome. Thank you for waiting. Hope everybody's doing good. We are back to the weekly stream with Rami. It was quite an eventful week. Unfortunately, we are still waiting for BTC to tag our entry that we've been waiting for quite some time, and I think I'll start there. No, actually, let's start with ARB. Okay, so usually we go over the trades that I shared in the week. So ARB short, this was quite painful, to be honest with you guys, because the difference between us entering and it being an excellent trade, and where it topped off was literally a hair away, and we called this quite early on. Um, was again, I'll go through the methodology of what I was thinking, why I shorted that location. And yeah, again, I'll keep repeating myself. It's more about the process and the methodology, for me at least, than it is about, only chasing the money. So I am happy to see that I was anticipating a short in the correct zone. Obviously, it's not great that we didn't fill, but I would take this over a loss any day. All right. So I'm, happy to see that the Bears did step in. We'll go over the methodology again of my system. So this is the typical five-wave reversal that I usually play. Right. I spoke about this, the two types of trades that I usually take in the last two streams that I did, the last three streams that I did. I'll quickly remind you all. Now, this is the fifth wave reversal play, which is usually 75% of the plays that I take. We'll refresh the memory. What I look for is a 1-2. All right. So I'm looking for a 1-2 and then an impulsive movement to the upside. Okay. Once I see the 1-2 over here, I bring my Fibonacci extension tool, which you can get from the Fibonacci toolkit, and I measure the length of wave one, then I bring it to the bottom of wave two. Okay, and we want to see wave three above the 1.618 zone. Okay, so around here. When I saw that, we pushed up, clean impulse to the upside, quite long for a wave three, to be honest with you, but it's still valid. Once I started seeing that there was a pullback here for wave four, I had a look, zoomed out a bit, and said, okay, we've already passed our minimum 2.618. Are there any key supply zones that I want to watch? Is there any zone where I've seen buyers and sellers fighting last time? The only obvious one, there's only one real obvious one, and it's right here. All this zone right here, right? So this is where I got the supply from. I could see that the last time price came here, we struggled a bit, tried to beat it, created this little bit of a consolidation, and then boom, crashed right down. Right? We haven't been back to that zone ever since. Okay, so I have my wave one, my wave two, happy with that wave three, saw the wave four, and marked out the supply zone as a potential zone for reversal to come in once the fifth waves kick in. Right? It's a very clean structure. And as we go through this and we do this more often, we'll start to be able to grasp what five wave structures look like. Right? Soon enough, it's going to be, your visual memory is going to cue in, it's going to come in, and it's going to be able to identify where these five waves and what they look like and what are potential plays that you could take. Right? So we have the five waves, we have the Fibonacci ticking off, we have the supply zone. All that was left was for us to fill in our exact entry, and it just missed us, went further short. Okay, that does not mean that price can't come up right now and go for a double top and come down to RTP. It's very possible. Right now, the reason why I decided to cancel this trade, I told everybody to remove it on the channel, was because we also have the BTC trade. Okay, so the BTC trade is there. It's a 1 hour R trade. I felt like if this were to come up and push here, BTC would most likely push up as well. So I took I thought about it. I said, okay, you know what? If it does push up, BTC will fill. I'm happy to be in one short while I'm looking for other opportunities at the same time. Okay, so clean structure. You don't really see five-wave structures cleaner than this, to be honest with you guys. I hope that by watching this and seeing me do this live, you're slowly training your brain as to what they look like, as we just spoke, because you will start to see them more often. You will see me share these structures continuously, and you will see me try to catch the reversal. Right? Just quick refresh. We have the five waves. Okay. And after the five waves, up or down, we expect a counter movement to the opposite side. Okay? So what we're essentially playing in this five wave structure, right? Let me count this in so it's clean for everyone to see. Oh, my Elliott wave theory. Anyway, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5 up. Okay. After an impulsive structure, which is made out of five waves, we usually get a corrective structure. Corrective structures usually consist of three waves. Okay, so you're looking at something like an a B up, and a C down, right? Sorry, that's a bit messy, but you get the idea, right? So we're looking for five waves, then we're playing the counter movement. This can exist in both a bullish five wave structure to the upside, or it can count as a bearish five wave structure to the downside, right? Just for visual representation, I will show you what a five wave to the downside looks like. Okay, and I can go over the I can go. Oh, what just happened there? I can go over the brief rules of the five wave structures, of the five wave sequences. Sorry, I think this got removed. Okay, so we got a wave one down. This is a bearish five wave impulsive structure to the downside. Okay, this is a wave one down. Wave two pushes up. It always retraces the wave one. Then we have a wave three. Then we have a wave four. Wave four retraces wave three. Then we have a wave five down. Okay, there are a few rules that we have to stick to. Hard rules. We cannot break these hard rules. We have to stick to them, and there's nothing that'll happen that'll make us change this. Right. One of the hard rules is wave two cannot, if it's a bearish sequence, meaning going down. Right. Wave two cannot go above the top of wave one, right? So if we saw wave two coming up here, taking out this high, that's invalid. Okay. If last week I had a question during the stream, someone asked me if this was really close to the top of wave one, almost touching it, but didn't surpass it. Is that valid? And I said yes. And we see it a lot. Most of the time we see wave two around the 50% mark. Okay, so it retraces 50% of wave one. Okay, I can do this again just so everybody has it clearly. This is your wave one, this is your wave two, this is your wave three, this is your wave four, this is your wave five. If wave two were to go below wave one, the bottom of wave one, that is automatically invalidated. Okay, so we scrap the count, we scrap what we're looking at, and we just keep looking for the next structure. Okay, again, the Fibonacci expansion tool, very important when we're assessing where these structures are. Okay, you have the wave two cannot go below the wave one. The wave four cannot touch the top of wave one. These are the two main rules that we're looking at. Okay, and then we use the Fibonacci extension tool to kind of give us a visual representation of where we're expecting wave three and wave five to be. All right, in this example, as you can see, wave three is above the 1.618, so I'm fine with it. Usually you'll see it just at the 1.618, slightly above. Usually I'm quite careful about the ones that are less than 1.618 for my ideal five wave structure. And the fifth wave, I'm usually looking at the 2.618 region. Okay, and again, I would say slightly above the 2.618 region. Okay, so just wanted to go over briefly to remind everybody about the basics of Elliott wave theory, the basics of my system. And again, just so everybody can have a look, we have the wave one, we have the wave two, we have the wave three, we have the wave four, we have the wave five. Okay, now usually after five waves, I like to target the 38.2% Fibonacci level. Okay, so as you can see, the target is exactly at the 38.2. What I just did over there, I can do it again. What I just did over there was got my fib retracement tool. Now I've changed the settings in it to match my preferences. It's not as colorful. There aren't as many numbers on there as you'll realize. But what we do is we measure the bottom of wave one and bring it to the top of wave five, or where we're anticipating wave five to finish. Okay, that would be your 382, that would be your 0.5, that would be your 0.618. I just have these two at the moment now because of the stream that I did last week where I was looking at some charts and I wanted to measure, right? Usually when I'm targeting, I don't look at anything else other than this, okay? And the negative 0.21 actually, interestingly enough, I'll explain it quickly. Usually, if I want to take a 1.8 RR trade, which is usually the lowest RR I go for, it actually works out to be a negative 0.21 of the 382. Okay, so it's a very useful tool that I discovered while doing some maths on my RRs. And I found that if I just got my Fibonacci tool, I can immediately just, get my short setup, put it on the zero, put the target at the 382, put the stop loss at 0.21. And as you can see, it always comes to around 1.82 RR. Okay, we can see that the bulls are stepping in. The bulls are trying to tag the supply zone again. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. This is looking a lot like it could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it will be an A, B, and C and push down. Okay, so the short is still absolutely valid. The only reason why I opted to cancel it, again for the people joining late, the only reason why I opted to cancel the short was because we already have a short for BTC and they both look like if they pump, they will both fill. Okay, we didn't fill BTC yet. I'm gonna cover BTC right now. All right. Actually, let's do that. Okay, so that was ARB. That was the trade that I shared. I had two shorts ongoing. One was ARB, one was BTC. ARB just missed us and came down, right? Last thing I want to cover here is throughout the week, somebody asked me a question like, shouldn't we, spread limits, or, front runs do happen. In every trader experiences front runs. Sometimes I have periods where I experience more front runs than I usually do, and others where I get, let's call it what it is, luck here, and all of my trades fill. And sometimes my system, my trades are not working out as well, and I'm my win rate is lower. Everything is a possibility, right? Even if we moved it down a bit, 0.25. So let me just explain what I'm talking about. Okay, in this instance, if I was to move my first entry here, it would have filled, right? But let's say my entry was a bit higher and I put it a bit lower. There's a chance that even if you spread your limits, you can still get front run, right? I personally have built my system to try to get it at one shot. Okay, I try to target a specific key level at a specific supply, and I used to spread my limits. I used to spread them into three, and I would get a lot of things like one of them filling and then it dumping and then not coming back and wouldn't know, it would mess with my R a lot because, like I said, I would get one entry filling and then it would go to full TP, and that would be such a small win that, when I take a loss, it would be the full R. And I just decided, you know what, I want to do something that's easily automatable. Yes, yes, if you want to be as perfect as possible, then yes, spreading bids is the best way, right? It takes more time, it's harder to manage, it's harder to manage during the trade as well. Okay, which is all of these reasons are why I opted to just go for one entry and assess my system from there. My system is profitable, so I until now have absolutely no reason to really feel the need to change this. Okay, so let's go to BTC. We have some annotations already in here, but let's go to what matters. Let's see, I like the 8 hour. Okay, so I just want to quickly go over BTC on the 8 hour, on the mid time frame, let's say short to mid time frame, because we're already quite advanced. Again, reminder, 3 weeks ago we spoke about this channel fake out. Now we have a little bit of a trend line. It looks more like a ascending triangle than it does a channel, but a geometric pattern, let's call it, right? You have your lower trend line, you have your upper trend line. I was watching the 65,700, got a really nice fake out here, and we are now at the short zone, which I've been watching for quite some time, right? I even had this long here. I believe I shared it on the group, and I later canceled it for an ETH long. Anyway, the concepts were right. It was good to spot this 65,700 demand zone. It was smart to assess that there could be a channel fake out. And usually when we see geometric patterns faking out, the liquidity that they grab, the liquidity that the market makers grab is significant. And also they try to punish you, right? What I mean by that is once, we'll go back to the, reference or metaphor of Tom, Dick, and Harry, right? Your average retail traders that go in 50x have zero patience and just want to make a killing on the first trades, right? They see this trend line break and they are absolutely short at 50x. Okay, there was a bit of consolidation around here. It is true. There was an opportunity to, they shorted, it came back, then it came back to their entry. They could have closed that break even at this time. Most of the times you don't have the possibility. And the second time that it broke into it, the second time that price broke into the channel out here, the lower trend line, you can see how quickly and with how much strength they pushed up. Okay, now I have two longs going on at the moment, two shorts going on at the moment. One of them is a scalp. All right, so it just takes this 5-wave structure. So 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, 5 up into the supply zone. Okay, if we want to get our Fibonacci extension tools, it's the same exact rules that I just went through with ARB. Okay, so that's the entire purpose, the entire point of what we're trying to do. We're trying to be repetitive, we're trying to be boring, we're trying to see the same repetition of pattern of structure over and over and over and over and over again. All right, because then you have a system that you repeat and you can judge across assets, across markets. You can even automate it because it's rules based, right? So again, we have our 5-wave structure, matches our wave 3 at the 1.618, wave 5 right above the 2.618, have my supply zone, have the geometric pattern. Okay, a lot of the times people were messaging me this week going, Rami, did it just front run us? ARB front runned us. Okay, I mean, this was really close as well, right? ARB front runned us, and I had to take the the limits off, mainly because I didn't want to take both limits off. I was happy to keep BTC because I still believe that BTC can get there, right? And I'm looking at something like this, right? I'm looking at something like this, okay? And we're playing this short on 2 time frames, okay? The first time frame that we're playing it on, the first BTC short I shared with you, was a scalp simply of the 5-wave structure that I usually do, okay? So it's looked something like this. As you can see, targeting the 382, and oof, that's painful, huh, guys? That is painful. I mean, almost perfect. Almost perfect. I'm not going to shut down this scalp. Okay? I'm going to keep it in there. We canceled our ARB short. I'm going to keep the scalp, the internal scalp, which is this short, and I'm going to keep the swing. Okay? So we have both the swing and the internal scalp open. Okay? And you're gonna ask me why? Why do you have the swing open? What are you bearish? Are you completely bearish? I've explained myself several times, guys. I will keep this here. Let me just, as you can see, guys, reminder, 382 was the target, -21 was the SL, and it gave us a 1.82 RR. Okay, now back to BTC. You're seeing this short and you're going, oh my God, is Rami so bearish? He thinks we're going to go to 15K. Oh my God, it's panic sell mode. Well, not quite. I tried to explain this several times, and usually when I was doing my streams, I went through the same process, and I'm gonna stick to that process. I think it's beneficial. First, go through some of the trades that I shared and the results and what happened, the methodology. Then I go to BTC on the medium to short term. Then I went to BTC on the higher time frame, right? And this swing over here comes from BTC, the thought process behind BTC in the higher time frame. Okay, so I explained to you all that. Let me delete this, it's cleaner. I explained to you all that my primary count, okay, would either see us do a five-wave structure to the downside, one, two, three, four, five, with a fifth potential, meaning one, two, three, four, and one last fifth down. I really like the 54.8K. I'll go over that properly in a bit, but I'm just showing you guys why I decided to include a swing short. Okay, because I am believing that there is a possibility that we do give this final fifth wave down or complete the corrective structure. Okay, so a one, two, three, four, five, or an A down, B up, okay, and C down. Okay, or even more complex, a WXY or another. The Elliott wave theory has several different corrective structures that are all valid. Okay, and although I've studied them, although I know them, I explained this before, I don't like to dig into every single subwave. I don't like to try to count every little thing because then, there are many different scenarios that are valid and you can just end up getting a bit confused. Okay, so I'm going to say what I believe and what I know. I believe that BTC has not topped out. Okay, I believe that we will see a major bounce on BTC, correcting this structure right here. Okay, I have already started to DCA into my BTC long. So first entry was 67K, the second entry was 60K. Then I have 57, I have 54, I have 50, and I have 48. Okay, so I haven't filled the majority of my longs. Okay, however, if we do pump from here, if we do break this up and pump with strength, I will start to shift hats and say, okay, guys, there's a big chance that we need to reassess. I have some lungs already in place, so I won't be in such a bad position from quite early on. They're already nicely up. But I will need to reassess and find a way to re-enter. Okay, so back to the two BTC shorts that we're trying to play. This is one of them. This is the other. I've shared both of them on my channel. You can go through them, and I give the clear entry, SL, and TP there if you would like to follow what I am doing. Okay, I honestly believe that the swing is looking quite good. That is really where I'm starting to shift into. Maybe we'll get some fake out on the pattern as we saw here and come right down again. Okay, that would be ideal. We'd get the same exact scenario that we saw on the upside, right? Tom, Dick, and Harry will see the breakout of the geometric pattern, retail pattern. The market makers will trap all the late longers. Say, see you later. Oh, this is going up, guys. This is going up. We're breaking. See you later, and reverse hard. Right? They always do this. Okay. It's a lot of what I do is based out on fake outs of geometric patterns, fake outs on levels, fake outs on supplies, fake outs on supports, right? They usually like to trap late shorters and late longers. They usually like to sweep up all the stop losses and then reverse with haste. Okay, so do not ignore that. Whenever you do see a breakout, always be mindful. Always try to play the confirmations of breakouts. First time breakouts, oof, you might win on them, right? You might get some people that have definitely won on them, but they are much less probable, right? And I can go through this really quickly. You have your breakout, right? You see this trend line breakout. Confirmation would be waiting for a retest, okay? At least do that if you must play the breakout. I rarely ever play a breakout. That is not my style. I like to stick to my systems. I like to stick to my rules. Okay. The only two setups you will catch me sharing publicly are my fifth wave long or short, which I'll remind everybody: one, two, three. You have a wave four, right? So we look for a wave four and we target the wave five. Okay. The stop loss for this would be the invalidation of wave four. The invalidation of wave four is when wave four touches wave one. Okay, so that's one of my setups that I play. The long for the fifth wave. The other setups that I play is what we just discussed. 5 waves followed by a counter movement. Okay, now I'm going to make this clearer here. And here, this would be our entry. This would be the stop loss, and this would be the target. Okay, the RR here doesn't look too good, but usually you can get 2 to 1, 3 to 1 on this setup. Okay, here the entry would usually be around here. Stop loss would be at 0.21. Take profit would be at the 0.32. Okay, so these are the two types of plays. Elliott wave theory is a core principle in both of the setups. It's extremely important to what I do, and I've utilized it into my system to create this methodology, to create the system that allows me to trade, right? Because you have to differentiate between theory and technical analysis, and then tradable theory, right? Or trading systems. Two completely different things. You can find people that are extremely good at market analysis, are really advanced in technical analysis, but when it comes to trading, they don't really have a clue about where to put the stop loss or where to target or where to put their entries, right? That's a whole skill on its own, okay? So quickly, I want to go over BTC on the high time frame again. Okay, on the medium time frame, this is what I'm expecting across the market, guys. I'm seeing this 5 wave structure. I'll zoom in a bit. I'm seeing this 5 wave structure. You can see it everywhere, right? You can see it whether it's ETH, whether it's Total 2, whether it's Total 3, whether it's alts, others, USDT, you name it. You can see the 5 wave structure across the entire market. And we know that once we see 5 wave structures, we should expect a reversal. Okay, so this is either going to be a, a reversal of the 5 wave impulse as we've discussed, okay, and it will be a shallower correction. So what I mean by shallower connection is maybe we'll touch the bottom trend line again. I already highlighted to you guys that this is a major support that I'm looking at, 7,500. Also looking at 68,350. These two supports right here. Okay, so maybe we'll retrace and come down, touch the lower trend line. I have a level here as well. Okay, we'll probably be able to go over that during the week, or I'll update as it happens. And then the bulls step in, right? So what we're talking about here is a shallower retracement. The other way that we could look into this is we do retrace, we bounce back up, and we make a lower low. Okay? And in this instance, I would expect 59,600 to break. We've spoken about this several times, guys. Okay, the main reason behind it, the main reason why I don't see us coming down here and then pushing up again is because this structure right here is starting to look very corrective to me, right? It looks awfully like a 3 wave corrective structure. This one is a 3 wave in it already. Could be a WXY, could be an ABC here for A, could be a B here, and then a C, 5 waves for C. Okay, but if we are in a corrective structure out here, that means that this impulse, unless it truncates, this impulse is expected to take out this low. Okay, the minimum I would expect would be an equal low. All right. So yeah, I would not be surprised at all if the Bulls completely get thrown into the whatever you want to shredder or whatever you want to call it and get annihilated right after we make this one last high. I wouldn't be surprised if we get this at all across the market. But I'm prepared for either scenario. I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm prepared. Okay. Now I want to quickly go over. BTC in the high time frame. We have the weekly. Okay. So what the swing would look like on the higher time frame. Okay. Now, we've already said that we have two counts for this. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Again, the fifth wave might be done, right? The fifth wave might be done, and we might pump from here. Okay, might pump from here. Well, I'll explain. I'll explain what's possible after that pump. But we also have a possibility of this being an ABC, which I just spoke about. Okay, ABC. Right. Fifth wave might be done, might not be done. ABC might be done, might not be done. We don't have any confirmation yet, right? As soon as we start breaking above the 80-ish K zone, 85-ish K zone, let's say, I will seriously start to reassess my count and my understanding of the chart and try to play around with it a bit. And I would just switch hats, and of course, you guys will be informed. However, my primary count at the moment would see us tag this and come down. Okay. I really like this 54.8 level, this weekly level over here, and all of this demand zone under it. Really looking strong. I already have long limits there anyway. But after we get this bounce, I'm expecting that we either do a three wave push to the upside. Okay, so a three wave corrective push to the upside. After three wave corrective pushes, we usually see another impulse to the downside. Okay, so let me move this here so it's cleaner. All right, so after we see three ABCs, so A, B, and C, after we see a three wave corrective structure to the upside, we expect to see another leg to the downside. Okay, I've spoken about my key supports. One is at 40K, the other one is at 24 to 28K, and I even have one at 15K. I do not believe so. My entire theory of what I'm expecting for BTC will break down if we take out this low. All right. So if 15,450 gets taken out, we're cooked. Okay. I'm just reminding everybody so we stay up to date and we keep track of what we're expecting. And when we're trading, we should have our big high time frame lens, then dig in and dig in and dig in, because in that way you create bias, right? You create bias and you're not losing track of what you're expecting. Okay. The other way that I'm viewing this is after we get the bounce, we get a wave two, not a B, a wave two, and we push up for a wave three and go all the way towards all-time high and smash that hard. Okay, so those are the two things that I'm looking at, guys. Quick reminder again, either a three-wave corrective push up to around 100K, let's say between 90 to 110K, okay, somewhere around there, and then pull back down. Either we make an equal low or go as low as 25K. I will be buying for sure if that happens, but I don't think we need to panic at the moment. We do have some time to assess and to update you guys. Or I expect a five wave straight, no second corrective leg down. Expect a five wave push to the upside straight away, break all time high, right? Which again, this is exactly why I'm already DCAing. I think Killa said it really well the other day. What you're doing in the low time frame is completely different than your investor hat, right? I don't want BTC to run away from me. I don't want I don't want to risk the opportunity of BTC potentially, even if it's a small fucking potential. I don't want BTC to potentially run away from me, right? And I can show you what that means, right? I have my first bid at 67K, so I started buying here, okay? Started buying at 67K here. Second buy was at 60K, right at the low. Average at the moment is somewhere here. Okay. The reason why I decided to enter with limits is because I was fully aware that this guy might freaking go with a nasty ass wick, do something like this, and get the hell out of there. Or right. In this case, I haven't filled anything, and I'll be in panic mode because I'll be like, "Oh shit! Did I just miss my opportunity to get into BTC?" And if you did miss the opportunity to get into BTC, and this is a multi-year bull market or a multi-month bull market or something that breaks all-time high, you're gonna be shitting yourself, Okay, remember, guys, BTC is pretty much the only crypto that I hold. I've been into BTC for quite some time. I am a very big BTC bull from a technical perspective, from a fundamental perspective. I do like BTC as an asset, and I think it's here to stay. Okay, so my entire philosophy, my entire ideology, and way I set up was I was relonging here with a trade that was not my spot amount. And closing, I publicly longed here. I was closing my long at 120K. Actually, that long was at 120K. But I was selling publicly my spot amounts from 110 until 120, 123 even I closed. Okay, so I sold 50% of all the BTC that I owned, and my only goal here was to stack sats. All right, I hope that makes sense. My goal, stacking sats in my vision means making money, right? However, the goal of the way that I set myself up and strategized was to accumulate BTC. Okay, and by buying in at 67 and 60K, I have honestly done a really good job because I basically got two for one. Right on my 60K bids, if I sold 120, if I sold whatever, one BTC at 120K, right, and I bought two at 60K, I've accomplished my mission. My mission was to increase the number of BTC that I own, so that is why I did exactly what I did. Okay. Now, again, if BTC does pump up from here, all right, I'm going to have to reevaluate with what I'm doing with the rest of my bids. Okay, because at the end of the day, I don't want my bids to stay there and BTC go to the all-time high. I'm still benefiting. I'm still benefiting if I'm buying at 84K. I sold on average at 120 at 110K, right? I sold on average at 110K. So if I'm buying at 90K, I'm still buying more sats than I sold. So there's no cause for panic. I am waiting. I do expect BTC to come down. I do believe that our swing shorts and our scalp shorts have a really high potential of filling and of playing out. And once that happens, guys, we better fucking be in our longs. Once this happens, we better fucking be in our longs. And the lower it goes, the more I will long. I've already spread until the 48K region. Yes, that's true. But if we go to 35, 30, 25, 20, you bet your ass I'm gonna be stacking up. You bet your ass. I'm gonna use all of the funds that I make from trading, any funds that I can get my hands on to stack sats. Okay. Now you guys know that I do watch other assets. I am involved in other assets. Most of my portfolio is tied to BTC. I was big in gold, but I sold most of it. Sold most of it around 4,000. I was in from 1,500. So obviously it's not great because it went to 5,500. But I never ever get phased by making profit. Uh, if you bought something at 1,500 and it went to 4,000 and your target was 4,000 and then it went to 5,500, take the fucking profits and be happy, man. Like don't sit down and cry about it and think you made a mistake. There's always another opportunity, there's always a next best play, and that's where your mind should be. That's where your focus should be, right? So very quickly, guys, I think this week there wasn't so many opportunities. I was scanning a lot. I was trying to find that intraday plays. I am still scanning, as you guys know. I'm on it all the time. I go through around 150 charts every fucking day on different time frames, sometimes multiple times a day, to try to find a play, a scalp, whatever. I do have one or two charts that I'm looking at, and I'm just assessing them a bit further before sharing any trades, but you guys will see the updates very shortly. All right. So we spoke about BTC. I am still expecting the shorts to come into play. I am very bullish in BTC in the mid to long term after we come down. If we do bounce from here and continue higher, I am prepared. It's not the end of the day, and I have already re-added into or re-entered into BTC, started re-entering into BTC. But now let's go over some other assets. Okay, so this is crypto. This is my general view for crypto. I don't most of the charts are looking the same, so I don't feel like I need to go over everything. It's more or less the same framework in terms of what I'm doing, and I spoke about this over the last 3 weeks. Okay, so now let's go over Brent, which has been taking over the news. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if I pull my recording up from last week, I spoke about how the chart from a technical perspective was showing me that I expect one more push to the upside, right? I was saying how this does not look done to me. Again, we can go through the counts to make sure everybody's on the same page. We have a wave one, we have a wave two, we have a wave three, we have a wave four, we have a wave five. Okay. But everybody was talking about the key words ceasefire. Everybody was saying ceasefire, ceasefire, ceasefire. And I was just saying, well, it awfully looks like a wave four to me. This does not look like it's completed something. I mean, there is a chance this is an ABC. There is a chance. And in that case, again, we will make a new low from here and we've topped out, right? But something in me was saying, I really like the idea of us taking out this all time high liquidity. Trap the late longers. Remember, we just spoke about the late longers. I want to see these late longers being trapped, and then the ceasefire will come in. I don't think we're far. I don't think there's going to be World War III, but I don't think we're quite there with the ceasefire. And if you're watching and paying attention to the latest news right now, the ceasefire uh, ends today. They're already talking about the next round, but they have issues. There are big issues between the two parties and finding a middle ground will be quite tough, contrary to what Trump says online. Most of what he says is full of shit anyway. But he has shown us that with shit you can control the market, right? And he's done that quite well. A lot of the movements that we've been seeing, especially with the pullbacks here, have been very strategically uh, fed to the information fed very strategically, whether on social media or whether on the news, on the media, to control the price of oil. Right, the stocks are pumping, things are moving. Trump actually played this quite well. However, I don't think with this movement out here they will be safe. Right, if we get this movement out here, this will cause a lot of panic across the markets. We can go over Nvidia right now and my expectations, but nothing changes here, guys. We're gonna keep going over the same structure, the same path of my streams. I'll go over it again and again so people can get used to it and we can go over the things that we're watching and update everybody. Brent, I'm expecting one more push up, expecting the all-time high to be taken out at 131, let's say. Maybe slightly higher than it, maybe 140, and then hard reversal on that. Okay. The stock that I've been watching the most and we've been watching the most is Nvidia. All right. I had this potential setup play marked out a few weeks ago. I think this is now my fourth stream that I'm doing, fourth weekly stream. Very clean 1, 2, 3, 4, and a fifth wave up. Okay, I'm expecting the Bears to slam this hard, like very hard. We're talking about a potentially 50% plus correction, guys. Okay, and it kind of ties in with Brent. I think this moment right now we can enjoy, but once they realize that, oh shit, this is not looking very well, I do think that we could see a major crash, guys. S&P, I've gone through my S&P count. It's very, very, very tough count to get right. There are many valid scenarios, but this is looking like a major, major blow off top to me, right? My biggest or my primary count here, actually, guys, is 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. That's a multi. If we dig into this, guys, if we dig into this, you can count a fucking fifth wave here. All right? This is coming down soon, guys. This is coming down. Like all you Apex bros, you're getting some clean alpha out here because when this happens, I don't care if this overshoots 8,000. You know, Rami kept going up. No. This is gonna end up, I don't care how long this takes or how much of a blow off top it gives in the next few candles or whatever. This is gonna come down really hard. Right? They're gonna call it a black swan event, wasn't seen, nobody expected this to happen. I'm telling you guys from now. If we do get this final push up with oil, things can look very fucking ugly very fast, very soon. So be careful. I've already started taking profits on a lot of my stocks. All right. And I'm leaving some. Obviously, I'm not going all in. But this has it has a recipe for disaster, guys. Brent potentially has a fifth wave up. Once it gives that fifth wave up, and it can get there really quickly, once it gives that fifth wave up, there will be shock across the markets. All right. Once that shock across the market happens, I mean, look, we've had major corrections in the past that happened very quickly. Look at this 33%, 36%. Okay, this happened over 2 months. All right. So in 2 months, 38%. We've made such a fucking big movement to the upside, guys, that and markets have become so much more like crypto. You know, a lot of people say that, oh, Bitcoin became legacy. Bitcoin became legacy. I would argue that legacy became crypto. You're seeing the biggest fucking companies in the world, like Nvidia, like all of these things, pumping and dumping 30% in a matter of days as if it's nothing, right? You have so many stocks that are looking like meme coins, right? So what I mean by this, and to be quite frank, if you follow Kilo's work, he brings up the M2 quite a lot. And the M2 is money supply. So a lot of this SPX pumping that we see, right? Actually, we can layer over here. Actually, no. Okay, if you layer the money supply over this, you'll see that there's a huge correlation between us borrowing money and markets going up, right? If you don't understand the theory behind that, I can explain it very, very quickly. I am an econ grad. I don't understand this economic model that we live in, but I understand what they're doing, right? It's fraud, right? Basically, they borrow money. You borrow money at low interest rates. People, banks, institutions, financial institutions, everything do not have an incentive to hold on to that money, right? We've had governments that even had negative interest rates, meaning you holding money costs you money. Inflation is getting higher, right? That means the value of the dollar is going lower. So what do you do with that money? What do you do with that money? You take it, you fucking leverage the shit out of it like a degen, and you invest it, right? You invest it into all sorts of different asset classes, which is why even meme coins and other shit and everything is pumping, right? Everything is literally pumping, right? Because people don't want to hold cash. The problem with this model, guys, is that there's always a time where the fun stops once there's a little bit of a credit crunch or a gap in the market, or somebody unexpectedly a bank unexpectedly goes bankrupt, or the price of oil goes to all-time high, right? Do not underestimate the power of oil in our socioeconomic lives, right? Geopolitical and socioeconomic lives. It's huge. Everything is made with petrol. Everything. Don't just think it's airplanes and cars. Literally everything. All plastics. It's everywhere. It's in roads. Literally isn't a place that doesn't use some form of good from oil. So a major shock in the price of oil to all-time high will cause businesses to go bankrupt. And what will that do? What will that do? What will that do? That's the question, right? I'm not trying to make this doom and gloom. This might be a very fast flash crash, as you saw here. We did 36%. Here we did 36%, but we went on our way back high. What I am saying is that you will be able to buy at better prices, right? There are a few stocks I am watching. I will share them with you all in the with the Apex gang, and yeah, and if you guys are into that sort of thing, you can get right in. But yeah, overall, guys, covered. The ARB trade. We're still waiting for the BTC trade. I covered my ideas on BTC, which is a continuation of what we've been watching. I covered Brent and how I expect that to impact other markets. We spoke about Nvidia and SPX over here. Both are showing us that a major correction across stocks, US stocks, are coming. So big warning here. If we do nail this, it'll be a major sight to see. It'll be quite fun, actually. But I mean, not for not for a lot of people, but will be quite nice to predict a major crash, honestly. Anyway, yeah. So, guys, if anybody has any questions, just ping me. You can write here. Actually, I'm happy to go through a few questions. I have around 10 minutes. So if anybody has any questions, you can write it in the chat and I'll go through them. If not, I am happy to have a look at any charts or go through any questions in the Apex chat or the Warzone chat. So, um, ETH count. Okay, so all right. So ETH. Perfect. All right, so I already have this here. I believe I shared it, guys. It's not the cleanest. It's not the ugliest. It's valid. There's nothing in here that makes me think that this is invalid. I do believe, like BTC, and this is where the reason why I didn't feel like I needed to go over BTC again was because it's exactly the same thing, right? But on a higher time frame, it has a really cool count, which I want to show you guys. Okay, so I have my wave one, I have my wave two, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave three. I have a channel over here with the supply zone. And that's exactly where we're at right now. And I'm expecting one last dump to the last side. Okay, lower channel support does exist, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do end up dumping to channel support and maybe even taking it out, maybe doing a fake out. So all of this is valid for me. Okay, all of this is valid. Maybe even take out this low out here. Why not? Okay, we do have another geometric pattern shape that catches my eye. I want to turn this into the weekly. Let me see. Okay, we do have another geometric pattern that catches my eye, which is this one here. Okay, and that also solidifies the idea that there is liquidity there. There's a geometric pattern there. There's a 5-wave count there. There's a supply zone, the demand zone out there. The Fibonacci's will match if we get the Fibonacci's. These definitely tick our boxes. Okay, so what else are we looking at here? What else are we looking at here? And this is actually a very bullish count, guys. A very, very bullish count. And I will delete all of this just to keep everything clean. Okay. Let me see. I had it recently. I just want to share with all of you here again. Nope, not the log. Okay. So what I'm looking at here, guys, basically, sorry, it took me a bit of time. I wanted to show you guys in the cleanest way I could possibly, but this is good enough. Okay, this is good enough. We have this over here, which was a major impulse closing at 2021, May 2021. Then we had the bear market start. Okay, we had our first corrective dump. Okay, then we had this, what looks like a 3-wave corrective structure. Okay, over here, people were thinking that this 3-wave corrective structure was here 1, 2, and 3, dump down and start. So people thought that this right here was the end. I was honestly very skeptical. I wasn't giving. 100% certainty towards that being the bottom. I wasn't saying that this is the impulse that it's going to go, but I did think that this was going to reach around 5,500, and it topped out earlier and dumped. Okay, now why am I saying this? Okay, when you have a push up, okay, then you have a push down, and then a three-wave corrective structure to the upside, and then another push down. What you're looking at is a potential wave 1 and wave 2, or a wave A, a wave B, and a wave C up. Okay, either way, the all roads lead to Rome. Either way, my primary and my secondary count for this lead us to all-time high. Plus. Guys, this is extremely bullish. If this plays out, this is fucking bullish, guys. Like really, 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 really bullish. Okay? What I'm talking about over here is this everything we've done being the start of ETH USDT. USD Bitstamp. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So everything that we've done, right? And this one's actually cleaner, guys. I apologize. I should have pulled this one out. Okay, this first I noticed while I was talking because I had missed something. This is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Your first impulse is so clean here. Okay, this wave 2 did take a little bit longer. That's absolutely fine. I'm still counting it like this. Okay, that's your wave 1 up. You have your A, you have your B, which is a three-wave corrective structure, and now you're getting your C. Okay, usually I like to see my C at the equal low. Okay, so there are times where you get a truncated C. Okay, here. So I would start spot buying here. I can share a proper a roadmap for spot buying ETH and plan after this on the group. Okay, but I would expect us to actually come down here, come back to this 2018 high, come back down, and then we're fucking going, guys. And then we're fucking going. Okay? And because this is my wave 1, I am literally going for crazy targets. Okay? So this is what we're looking at. Okay? 14, 13,000, 14,000. I mean, if I got 10K, I would be happy. But I hope this makes sense. And the reason why I was showing the logarithmic chart on the other chart, sorry guys, I have CrossFit in 10 minutes, so I have to go, but I'm enjoying this and I would love to continue, but I will show you one last thing, okay, before I go. Any other questions in the meantime? I'm happy to have a look at. The log count is also pretty nice, right? So you can start to see, look here, you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dump, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was an A down, B up, and C down. You can see the three-wave structure here. Okay, then you got your fifth wave. Okay, there are other assets where this is cleaner, but the idea remains the same. I would expect us, after this correction is done, to go through one of the biggest bull markets to go through. Yes, I do have materials for EW. I'm actually creating my own materials, but I can share some basic things, basic documents in the meantime to share with you guys, like a little rule book for Elliott wave theory. It's important to know, it's important to see. But I'm happy to answer all your questions, guys, throughout the week. Whenever you want, just ping me, whether it's educational, whether it's about a coin, whether it's about a trade, or like I said, 5-wave structures, guys. Still haven't seen anybody send me a 5-wave structure. So I am going to take that as not finding any yet. So hopefully we do. Anyway, guys, cheers. Thank you so much for joining. Hope to see you next week again. And yeah, happy trading. I will share a potential scalp today, and I will also share the roadmap for ETH that we discussed, but we can do that later on. Thank you guys. Take care. Have a lovely day. See you. Bye bye.